Dmvdrakes podcast, and we got special guest East here today. He's going to talk all about the Digimon trading card game, man. Thanks for coming out, East. I appreciate you. We also got Red Joe here as well, for all you Red Joe fans.
I guess good to be here, despite the fact that it is super late for you guys. And thanks for having me on.
Thanks for
this
coming
is the
on.
regular time. Don't let them confuse you.
All right, East, man. I just gotta know, man. What got you into the Digimon trading card game, bro? I need to know.
That's a hard one. Can I go back a little bit and give you a little bit of backstory?
Of course.
And
So
back when I was a wee young lad, I got a random tape in the mail, and it was for Pokemon before Pokemon actually released.
Okay.
So sorry, we're going way back. Sorry.
Way back.
To this day, I don't know who sent me that video, and it had like the first 2 episodes of Pokemon on it, and it had like all the stuff that was gonna come out about it, and I got really excited. And then fast forward maybe a couple months later, when it actually did release, I was walking through like my local Books A Million, like in the mall one night with my mom, and I saw a bunch of kids playing the Pokemon card game, in the Books A Million. They I guess organized an event. I don't know if you guys are that old. I'm definitely showing my age right now.
I know exactly. what you mean.
Not me. I'm only 20.
I did one at Toys R Us forever ago. The only time I even played competitive before Digimon was one event at a Pokemon at a Toys R Us event forever ago. That's the only time I did it, being competitive.
Yes, I'm not the only old man here. Perfect. But I got into Pokemon and I played that card game for quite a while, right up until Yu-Gi-Oh came out, and then a stupid
that's
moron,
exactly the trend.
like a dumb, stupid dummy. Like looking back, I can definitely say how stupid I was. My friend came to my door with a Yu-Gi-Oh starter deck, and I gave him my Charizard for a Dark Magician. The starter deck, Dark Magician, I gave him my Charizard for.
Man,
I know those
I'm so tight. Even to this day, I'm so dumb. I'm so mad at myself. But after that, I played Yu-Gi-Oh till about maybe the beginning of high school, and then it just kind of faded out. I started getting into fighting games, and I really took off with fighting games. I love those a ton because after we would go to the mall, after we play Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh in the mall, we'd go to the arcade, and I knew the guy at the arcade, so he'd give me the hookup. I give him $10, and he'd give me $15 worth of tokens.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And then I was just
that's pretty good.
I played DDR and CVS2, Capcom.
Yes, CVS2. Yes. Let's go.
I love making CVS2. It. You know what that is,
yeah.
But I would crack out to that until my parents picked me up from the mall.
Of course. All right.
And then I went to college, and that all kind of fell by the wayside. I played a little bit more fighting games, but I never really continued with card games. I just basically stopped. And then fast forward, right before the lockdown happened, a couple of 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I haven't played a card game in a long time. And it'd be nice to hop into something. And the one that I saw first was Digimon. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. I remember Digimon when I was a kid, and so I picked up the black and the green and the yellow starter deck. Because they're all so cheap. In Japan, they're $3 a piece.
Really?
Yeah, they're dumb, stupid cheap here.
That's crazy.
And so I picked those up, and I was like, all right, these are cool. I very quickly realized the yellow starter deck is garbage. Trash. Yeah. It is the worst.
Yeah,
what was in the yellow? Is that just is it just the Patamon? What is the only thing that's usable out of the yellow version?
I think you get Holy Wave.
The option.
Yeah, the Holy Wave
Yeah,
option.
maybe Holy Wave, yeah, but it was awful. And then I stuck with blue and green, and I've been playing the game for about a month. And a buddy of mine who knows me from working in esports production, because I'm not sure how much you guys know about my past, but I've done a lot of fighting game esports production stuff, commentary, producer, director, all that stuff. And he's like, hey, the company that I work for, he works for this company that works with Bandai and Capcom, et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, hey, we're trying to do something with the Digimon card game. We got a really good contract with him, and we'd love to be able to put some videos and stuff out on the Bandai channel. And he's like, have you ever even heard of this game, the Digimon card game? I was like, well. And by that time, I was super hard into the game. I got my friend, if you guys know who Majin Obama is, he's a really big fighting game.
Oh, yeah, I know Majin Obama. Okay.
Yeah, I got him into the game as well. And we would like every Friday night we have like a studio here in Akihabara, Tokyo, and he was like, "Hey, let's like play." And so every Friday night we would get together and we just like play games until like I don't know 2, 3 a.m. sometimes 4 a.m.
Wow.
And
Sounds
sometimes
like
we
a
even
server.
streamed it. Yeah.
I did not know Majin
We-
Obama played card games. That's interesting.
He played up until maybe a year or two ago. I think he kind of fell by the wayside. He got into some like arcade Fate card game garbage, and I trash on him and rag on him every time I can about it. But yeah,
I understand.
he fell out of it. But I've still been playing the game, so yeah, I'm just a big fan, man.
Of course.
The big fan.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So like going back into your like fighting game roots, so what essentially got you into fighting games? I'm curious. Like, what was the very first fighting game that like grabbed you?
The thing that got me into fighting games was the fact that there were too many people playing DDR. So
Fair enough.
that's a weird thing to say, but my arcade was one of the few arcades on the East Coast that had like a full DDR machine.
Wow.
So you could actually go like had the handlebars, the metal plates, and everything. And
I've seen a few of those. I know what you mean.
yeah, this is back like DDR Max 2, I think it was back like Max 300 and Max Unlimited. Those are relevant to you guys at all, but because it was one of the
We're
only.
reaching here.
Yeah, I am definitely reaching. At every turn, I show how old I am. Because it was one of
I know
the.
all the DDRs. I just didn't know the names of them.
I mean, they're all just basically the same game.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about DDR. I think Kids of America was on
I
one
only
of the
had a few
machines or
friends who
something.
did that.
It was a fun game for what it was, but like kind of go back to my story.
Right.
We had one of the few arcade machines on the East Coast, so people would come to it, and the way it worked in the arcade was like you would take your token or your quarter or whatever, and you would sit on the side of the machine to people know you were next. The problem with the DDR machine was like there was like 7 people in front of you at pretty much all times if you just walked up to the machine and wanted to play. So I was like, all right, well, I gotta kill time because I'm definitely not gonna spend all my tokens on DDR. So what do I spend them on? And there was like this huge like fighting game setup for CVS2, and
Nice.
my friend, one of my best friends in high school, he was like, "Hey man, I tried this last week. We should definitely give it a shot." And we did, and we just stopped playing DDR. That's
You just fell in
because
love.
nobody was playing it.
Yeah.
Because fighting games are hard, so nobody was playing it. So we would just like crack out to that game the entire day. We basically just hogged the machine. And I played that game. I was so scrubby. Oh my god, I was garbage.
What was your team?
Like,
just curious.
my first team was like Guile, Terry Bogard from SNK like KOF, and was it Kim?
Kim?
Or no, it was Joe. It was Joe.
Wow.
It was Joe
Yeah,
from KOF.
that's a pretty scrubby team.
Yeah.
What group did you use?
Can't have
C.
a Joe on your team.
C group, of course.
See, yeah, I solely picked Joe because his taunt was that he mooned you. He just pulled his pants down. Like that was why I picked Joe.
Never mind. It's fitting. It's fitting.
And like I basically just like I knew how to like flash kick with Guile because it was down up.
Yeah, right.
And I knew how to like Joe has like a fireball, it's like 2 hurricanes, and they're kind of hard to get past. So I would just do that until I built up level 3. Or with Guile, I would like either flash kick you or just like crouching medium kick you because it was a really really good button until I got level 3 and I would just do that. Like I was so bad. I was trash. My first
I don't
super.
know what, man. You play-
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
My first super was I finally after maybe like 10 or 15 games I got Terry Bogard's Buster Wolf in an actual match.
Oh, word?
But the guy I was playing was really good. And I don't know if you know anything about like KOF motions, but
Yeah.
they are hard as hell
Yeah,
to do. It's like back down,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
half circle,
exactly. Yeah.
back and then forward and yeah.
Yeah.
And I got it, but the other guy was really good, and he just like he was awesome. He just fucking teleported away. I was like, all right, cool. Great memory, yeah,
Yeah,
great
right.
memory here. But yeah, I tried Third Strike, but man, when you're a scrub, it's hard. It's really hard to play Third Strike when
Third
you're
Strike
bad.
is really unforgiving, man. It's really
Yeah.
unforgiving. I mean, I'm a scrub at Third
Like-
Strike. I play Ryu and I just do the Shin Hadoken all day.
Oh yeah.
So I'm a scrub too. So don't feel bad.
I felt that.
Definitely.
But yeah, I tried that. I got into 4 after I went to college. I played 5. I played a lot of Melee for quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
And then I also got into I'm playing Street Fighter 6. Like after Street Fighter 5, I basically played like every fighting game out there. So,
Really? Okay. How do you feel about Street Fighter Five? In just my opinion,
Just five was at launch abysmal, and by the end of it was probably one of the best fighting games out there.
Really, like ever made, or just
Yeah.
like out on the market?
I mean, to be honest, probably ever made.
Wow.
Well, what's up? What's up?
Tekken Tag 2.
I mean,
Yeah.
so here's the thing. Do you guys know what Final Round is? It used to be a big fighting game tournament that happened in Georgia in the States.
Yeah, I know about
And
Final Round.
yeah, so the guy who ran that, he was like a really big Tekken head, and so like Tekken was like super big at Final Round.
I love Tekken. I played a lot more Tekken than anything, to be honest.
See, I'm the opposite. I love to watch Tekken. It's kind of like football, right? Like you can sit down with your boys and you can like watch football, but you're definitely not going out in the field against like one of those linebackers. Like no one's doing that. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like
I
I feel the same way about Tekken. Like I'll watch Tekken, but I'm not getting my my ass busted. So yeah.
I mean, I haven't played it in forever. Like, but I used to play the shit out of some Tekken. Oh my god.
Good game. It's hard though. It's very
Yeah,
hard.
it's very unforgiving. Very unforgiving.
Yeah, to go back to your initial question, yeah, I think 5 was probably one of the best fighting games out there by the end of it. Even though I started with 4, and that's kind of like my love. Yeah, like at the end of it, 5 was really good, like really, really good, with the exception of maybe Luke. I think everybody agreed that Luke was kind of.
Yeah, fair enough. That's interesting because a lot of people I know aren't really big fans of Street Fighter Five. They call it Sleep Fighter Five. So that's interesting that you said that's probably one of the best fighting games ever.
At the start, it's 100% what you're saying. Like it was trash at the start. Like the story mode didn't exist. The balance was what it was. Whenever Capcom has a pretty bad like
day one
rap
launch.
sheet for exactly.
Yeah,
like the balance is not great. 6 is a little bit different. There's definitely some changes, JP, that they need to make. But yeah, like that game was pretty bad. So
I got you. We kind of got off topic a little bit from like.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But it's okay. It's okay.
You just steer the conversation where we need to go, big dog.
Yeah, of course. So I just wanted to know, what is your favorite like Digimon deck of all time? I remember in one of your videos you said Black War Gray format was your favorite format. Like BT11 was your favorite format, if I remember correctly.
I gotta say, I don't know what happened at Bandai, but it feels like maybe the producer or like people on the balance side of the game have changed within these past 3 sets. For I guess folks watching
didn't
for the
the
future.
person for the Digimon change?
Did it?
Like the direct? Didn't they just change someone?
Battle director?
I heard the.
If it's the battle director, then yeah, it makes sense.
I heard the guy that was designing the cards. Don't quote me on this. I heard
It was
he
like
left after BT13.
It was like
Really?
the keywords
Yeah.
or whoever does that nonsense. Like that's right?
I think
I didn't know that.
I think
That's
the guy that
case, yeah.
designed just the entire cards like pool left.
Oh.
That's from what I heard. But don't quote me on that. But that's what I've been hearing. That's why the cards are so radically different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels that way. Like from 12 on, I think
That would make sense.
things like got really different, and with every new set that comes out, I'm more and more happy with like the balance of the game. My favorite deck of all time. That's tough, man. I really like the new D-Brigade and Digipolice deck that's out in BT14. And I know it's hard for you guys to relate right now, but it takes a deck that was originally just like
Just let me
brain
dream about
off.
14 with you.
All right. Imagine, yeah.
Right.
They took like a brain off, like full aggro deck, and they're like, all right, well, we're gonna keep the aggression, but what if you could actually like plan your turns out so that like your effects went off in the correct order?
Really?
So you guys know like Commandramon is like based off of like
Yep.
the idea where if one dies and like you look at top 3 and you can basically replace him. And some of the new cards basically let you look at the top X amount of cards from your deck, and you can also take a card from them and set those cards either on the top or the bottom of your deck in any order.
Interesting. Okay.
But when that happens, like, and because most of the effects from D-Brigade and Digipolice are like, hey, like look at X cards off the top of your deck, play something with X cost. It lets you really plan out your turns in a really cool way, and so you can get more out of your aggression just based off of like being able to plan your turns out. So your brain is on, but you get to keep the aggression.
I understand. So it turned D-Brigade into like more of a traditional deck instead of just Rookie Rush, basically. In Dark Jamon
I mean,
game, yeah.
Well, now it gets to be a big brain deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it sounds
It's still
like.
it gets to plan out its turn.
Okay.
You can definitely like go the rookie rush route. It doesn't work. I'm gonna get a little sweaty here. It doesn't work in every matchup, and I gotta be honest. It's very tempting to just like go hard.
Just go face.
Turn one like to turn one like Digivolve and Raising, throw out like a level 3 command one that'll die and replace itself, and then like just go from there. But it doesn't work for every matchup. So
I understand. Is Shine still oppressive over there? Because in America, Shine's like, I wouldn't say it's like off of everyone's radar, but it's not as represented as it like a lot of people were expecting it to be. It seems
yeah, I think
very,
that.
I don't know. I guess people just don't like Shine. That could be. They could because
Nobody else getting punched in the mouth by Marcus. It's fine.
Yeah, right. Marcus control.
I think the one thing you guys are missing right now are the training cards, and I get that. Like the deck is a little bit bricky if you don't have the training cards, because you're like basically like hoping to grab stuff off of your memory boosts, and that like does not include any of the Marcuses. So if you don't have a Marcus in your hand at the start of the game, or you have one in security at the start of the game, like it's really hard to find one and get one out very quickly.
I see.
Once you guys get your hands on the training, because Marcus is red and yellow, and every card in the deck can be red and or yellow, you get super consistently off of being able to include up to 8 cards that tutor out, well not tutor out, but like lets you search through the deck and get memory back.
That's actually
That combined with the fact that Marcus lets you free Digivolve, which is ignorant as hell, by the way, is
Little Marcussi.
yeah, is pretty powerful. The deck, by virtue of like how it destroys Digimon with DP minus, that's really hard effect to get around, and just the fact, this is gonna sound weird, the fact that those cards are not viruses is really good, especially in BT14. Any virus-based deck just gets eaten alive by Yellow Patamon and Angemon, because Angemon can take any Digimon and just remove it immediately for 3 cost.
That's great.
If you're a virus anyway. So because those cards aren't viruses, unlike the black, red, War Greymon stuff, it does really, really well.
I'm even surprised that Ruin Mode is a vaccine, if I remember correctly, right?
So what you're telling me is Vaccine is the best type in the game. Okay, thanks.
Right now, I would say Vaccine is actually really Vaccine or Data. But yeah, Ruin Mode I think is also Vaccine. That card, I'm telling you right now, if I was ever to give a prediction, please grab a couple copies of Shine Greymon Ruin.
Oh man, how much you think it'll be when BT14 comes out? $110?
So I don't have a really good metric for like the English card game prices. Actually, in Japan, things are a little bit cheaper. But I'll say this: I've never seen a card in Japan get to over 100, the equivalent of $100 in Japanese yen. Shine Greymon has hit that mark.
Oh shit!
So
yeah,
damn it, you can't give him that much knowledge.
Yeah, you gotta put some against the paywall. But
I mean, I think people are gonna also say like, well, Japan is best of 1 and America's best of 3, so things are different. I guess, but again, I think it's really hard to ignore how powerful that card is, and being able to like checkmate your opponent. You like put him down, destroy something big, minus 5,000 everything. Even if it touches the board, it doesn't get its effect before it gets checked.
Dies, so. I mean, I'm a green player, so I like spitting. Like,
oh
yeah,
no!
Yeah. So I'm in fear.
Me and all my homies hate green.
Oh, you hate green? Why do you hate green? What's wrong with green?
Actually, when Obama played, he was a green man.
He was a green guy.
What's your least favorite green deck then?
That's a good question.
My least favorite green deck?
Green hybrid.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm fine with green hybrid. They're all right. It was like the old time Nidhoggmon.
Let's go.
Oh my god.
With Lilymon, like resting everything, and it's like, hey man, it'd be a shame if all your rested Digimon just disappeared. Yeah.
That was my favorite time.
You're talking to that man across there. I used to play him every week at locals, and he would just
Nidhogg
board like me and then stun me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can stun with you can stun with the Rafalzimon. Yep. Oh, those are good times. I miss those.
That combined with things like Takumi Aiba, where you could just like stop Rookie Rush, and then they give you time.
He'll ever come back? We haven't seen him in forever.
That's true.
It's already come back. One of the really good Japan players won a big event using Takumi Aiba inside of what's it called?
I think your favorite
Hunter.
person's about to fly.
Oh, he used it in Hunters?
So because you digivolve for
wait.
free in Hunters, and
Yeah.
Takumi Aiba gives you a free card draw off of every off of a digivolve, you can turbo out cards from your deck. Like I basically watched the guy in front of me like draw, I don't know, some like upwards of like 6, 7 cards in a turn.
That's insane.
I mean, you
That
can
is
like the
insane.
deck itself like uses things to like get tamers out, so they can like look at X amount of cards, play a tamer. That's the Damemon, and then yeah, like Takumi Aiba's card draw, and then like the Arrestor Dramon or Gumdramon, not Arrestor Dramon. Yeah, Arrestor Dramon, Gumdramon, and Psychemon, they all draw a card whenever you attack. So
Right, of course.
yeah,
I
card
didn't.
draw becomes insane.
That's kind of interesting about Digimon though, because Takumi Aiba was not on my radar of cards to be
Right?
worried about.
Right?
So, but it makes so much sense because since you digivolve for cheap anyway, you could just suspend the Takumi and then draw. So it makes perfect sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's very cool tech that I only have recently seen. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I just wanted to ask a couple more questions. How is it like? How do you get the data in your videos? I'm really curious about that because it seems like you're gathering data from like basically all around Japan. so, so how
I
locked in are you?
actually am I'm actually making a video to do this right now.
Okay.
So the data that I pull is from a place called the Digimon card game website. So that's like where I get like base stuff from. I think most folks can go there, and if you have Google Chrome, it's so easy to just like auto translate the page. It really is not any amount of like hard work. So there's that, and then there's also just a bunch of sites, or not sites, but a bunch of accounts that I know that post up like events on Twitter, and it's between those and then like searches that I make on Twitter, basically checking like. So in Japan they're called tamer battles. I don't know what they're called in English, but like the weekly events are called tamer battles. I basically look up tamer battles and like people who have like won tamer battles, and I just pull all that there, and I aggregate it into a. I don't know how to like easily push this out for people, but I aggregate it into like a spreadsheet, and I just update the spreadsheet, and then I make videos from that.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. We
Yeah.
just have locals. We used to have these things called tamer parties, but nobody really knows how to even set it up. I don't even think store owners
What-
kind of know how to set up like it's these things
What-
called like tamer parties or
Yeah, what is that? Is it like casuals or?
it's. I think you
No, it's
teach.
for certain. It's like for certain promos.
Yeah, you teach people how to play the game, and then they give you promos. That's what
Yeah,
we do.
yeah.
That's what we have.
We have something. They stopped like the super casual events that are just like not like tournaments. It's just kind of like come and play over here in Japan, and they've started something called the Tamer Battle EX, which basically takes that and it makes it a 3-on-3. So you have 3-on-3 events, and the prize card for that is the oh shoot, what is the name of this card in English? Give me a second. It's the Royal Knights option card, the white one that's like 6 cost.
Purge
Lets
of
you
the
like
Royal
sauce
Knights.
yeah, it's the alt art of that, and it's like the equivalent like $40 if you win.
Jeez, man,
So.
that's kind of good. The only thing we get is
But yeah,
like, store championships, and that's about it.
really,
That's all we got. And
yeah,
locals.
it's. I mean, that's actually pretty similar to Japan. That and there are I don't know what it is, but the past like 3 or 4 months, the like not official events, but like they're called in Japan CS events, like and they're basically like run by the members of the community. Have
wow.
like exploded. Like this weekend, I have a 2v2, and then like last weekend there was I think a 3v3, and then the weekend before that there was like a singles event. But they're all being run by people. They like basically rent out like a municipality like office building. You can do that in Japan. You
Oh,
just kind of
geez.
rent out a space, and just
Nice.
like they hold
Yeah.
the event there. Those have really exploded the past couple months, and the people who are doing them are they pour in a ton of love and effort into these events. So when you go, you can win like cards. You can even if you don't win in the tournament, right? There's stuff you can do afterwards. So what's called a gunslinger event, where you basically just like get a card with stamp, and you can like for every amount of stamps you can get like and claim prizes, and the prizes are kind of like a lottery. So you can
wow.
sometimes get something really good, sometimes you get something small. They make their own play mats, memory markers, artwork, everything. Like I have stickers. Hold on, let me show you. One second.
Yeah,
I
go
got
for
stickers.
it.
Oh. Uh, like so there's a guy named Sushimaru who does some stuff. He does events, and so these are some of the stickers he was giving away just as promotions for the event that he was doing.
Those are sick.
Yeah, really, really nice.
You
And
see
then
that, Joe? That's sick.
when
I do see that.
as just a participation prize for one of the team events, like they give you this little card. These symbols right here say like first and second basically, and so it's an easy way. And people use these as like where they hatch their eggs, so it's an easy way to say who's going first and who's going second.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it's really well done.
That's really cool. We don't really we have online tournaments that kind of do like memorabilia and like custom designs and custom mats, but nothing really in like actual real life. A lot of the stores I would say in the area are more so tailored towards not really so much Bandai games. Maybe like One Piece. Yeah, Digimon kind of gets like, as popular as it is here, it kind of gets shafted a lot of the times, which is interesting.
Yeah, I feel that
because of the big 3 or 2.5, I should say, because Yu-Gi-Oh's kind of falling off.
wait, what's the half? Hold on, what's the half?
Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm Yu-Gi-Oh!
You downgraded Yu-Gi-Oh!
I don't know. Yu-Gi-Oh! I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to get taken over by One Piece in like the next year, honestly, because One Piece has exploded in America. It was insane. People were walking away with like boxes of the Romance Dawn sets. One dude had a limit on the.
What do you mean, dog?
Romance Dawn, the first set for One Piece.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Of course they were walking away with the prizing too.
They were walking away with the prizing too, but we're gonna save that for later on. But no, is
the pricing there as good as it is in Japan? Like the prize cards are worth a ton of money.
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh yeah, they were stealing them here.
Yeah, they were stealing them here. Yeah, that's what they're like, second generation Yu-Gi-Oh players. Like honestly, like it's pretty terrible. I remember a story like one guy there wasn't enough spots for like the store championship or something like that. So the dude was like, okay, you have to wrestle me for your spot, which was interesting. And it was posting. Yeah, it's really weird.
That sounds like something that somebody who wrestles would make up as a way to like make sure they get their own spot.
I am serious.
What? I'm a Golden Gloves boxer. You got to box me for this. For the spot, man. I'm sorry.
You got to box me for this stamped VV card, man. I'm sorry.
This 6th print of Vmon.
Honestly.
Yeah, I hope that I know one of the things that I've heard from the west of the games that the pricing for the game definitely could be better, and I hope that definitely changes. For Japan, I think the pricing is pretty good, but I think
it's
mostly
just our official events, like the regionals and stuff. They need to do better, like just a little better pricing.
Really?
Or just like participation. Like I understand you can't get like the high grade cards, but like if we're gonna spend $35 and all of us have to literally probably take off a day of work, like
that's
you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
And then try to sit there for 6 hours, and then it's not even anything we're about to.
Can I ask what some of like the prizing has been in the past?
You get it's cardboard deck boxes.
Oh no!
You said, "Oh no!"
Oh no!
Yeah, cardboard.
Homie,
I got a deck boxer out here. 1 second. I'm gonna go grab it.
Homie said cardboard deck box. I have a storage box. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's like one of my other complaints. Like compared to Pokemon, like I wish they would give us some storage, like a tin or something. You know what I mean?
Hours of slavery right here. To
8 hours of. My man said I was sharecropping.
There you go.
For this cardboard box.
This is what we get.
Really?
Yeah, this is it. This is what we get. See.
That's the deck box he got.
Championship 2023 card case. This is what we got.
I can't read. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, they could definitely do better. That's kind of insane. Do you guys have, like, when you go to locals, do you have like the packs that you get for participating?
Yeah, I mean we get those. We get regular tournament packs. We're okay with those. Okay. The regular tournament pack stuff we're okay with. Some of it could be better. Some of it's decent.
It would be nice to
see. Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
It's basically the regionals where we have bigger problems. Like we kind of wish you would get rid of regionals and ultimate cups and just combine them and make all that prizing one, rather than trying to do these separate events.
I wish there was more in-person regionals, honestly, because a lot of our stuff is online. Yeah, is it the same for Is it the same for you? East is a lot of the tournaments like online. No, they're in person. That sucks.
Yeah, so I
That's good
think
for
the
you.
biggest issue. Yeah, yeah. The fact that one of the reasons that I actually play the game still is that I like the idea of like sitting down in front of somebody and like playing a game.
Yeah.
The online feel, while it's great to like play the game, but online just feels kind of meh. I come from the idea that like grinding online, especially in fighting games, is probably the most soulless experience on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
And so like sitting down across from somebody and like actually playing a game is what's important to me. But because Japan is so small, I have the luxury of being able to basically just go and have locals pretty much anywhere I go. I know it's different in the US, in Europe, where things are way more spread out, and I know that's one of the like the problems they have to like overcome. So
Yeah, it's rough. I don't know. The one locals we go to as well, they just like, I'm gonna say this because they're never probably gonna watch this video. They actually they actually flubbed up, and they don't have any store championship stuff going on, which was supposed to be tomorrow. And also,
oh no,
yeah,
Literally tomorrow.
And also they don't have tournament pack 10, which in America they have the
Is the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's
a reprint of the security promos.
Yeah, the security promos in RB1 was
yeah.
The alt arts ones were in RB1, but since America kind of like
We
flubbed
get them
that.
in the tournament pack.
Yeah, we get them in the tournament pack. Yeah. So our store
Wait,
that
did you not know we had to fight to get RB1?
Oh yeah, we bullied.
I'm so happy that entire campaign worked out as well as it did, because everybody that I heard was like, even the Japanese players, like, really? Why would they do that? And then immediately they're like, yeah, we messed up. Sorry about that, guys. They're coming. Just give us a bit more time.
Like, as much as I want to play Gamamon, like, what was the point of that?
that set was going to help out so many new players, and they just was like, nope, you get to play Gamamon.
No,
that's all you get.
I'm good.
Yeah, Koromon is like a $5 egg.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Is it the same amount of money there? Because like Koromon's like $5 here. Oh, really?
Game is much cheaper. Much cheaper.
So this,
with the exception of Great Mountain Room mode.
So this Izzy here from BT4, I think.
Yeah.
It's like $3.
There's been like 3 reprints.
Yeah, and this is this is the lowest rarity, and it's $3. So I don't know.
He's maybe 50 cents here.
Can you ship me some Izzy's?
If they're legal, you can have them, buddy.
I'm telling you. But I can, like, from the conversation I'm getting here, is like I'm noticing a very kind of like huge difference when it comes to like the pricing of the game. Because it's to get a competitive deck, you're spending upwards to like what I would say like $60-$70 nowadays. Just to play competitively.
Competitively, if we're talking like tier 1 decks, I definitely think Japan is still a bit cheaper, but you're gonna spend a little bit more. But yeah, it feels like, one of the reasons that I got into the game is, like I told you before, the starter decks were like $3. Like the game is so cheap to get into.
It's still cheap though.
I think comparatively, yeah. Take a look at something else like Yu-Gi-Oh or One Piece, etc., etc. The game still is pretty cheap to get into. I think it's one of the big selling points. Like I've seen people who have showed up to one event, and like one guy, I played him in he showed up to the tournament event, which is kind of crazy, and he was like trying to use like a Mastamon deck that he kind of just hobbled together, but it didn't have all the cards. So I was like, after the event, I was like, all right, fine. Like I went over just to the cashier, like give me 4 Marays, and I just gave them to him. I was like, here, you can have these.
Oh, how much was Maray? How much was Maray there? Like
maybe like $2.
Oh no!
What?
That's insane.
What?
Maray's like a $9 card
insane.
here.
That's such a good card.
That's such a good card, bro.
Just in
He's
general.
like, wow, this is so kind. I was like, it's fine, dude. Just please put these in your deck. You're gonna need these for the Mastamon.
You're definitely gonna need Maray for Mastamon. That's so insane. So what is your?
Yeah, so the game is much cheaper. That's one of the reasons I think it's one of the reasons I kind of stuck with it. I will say though, the game has risen in price a little bit in the past set, just because they've raised the price of boxes, I think, by like $5.
Okay. So I just wanted to know, what is your least favorite format then? We talked a lot about your favorite formats. What is your least favorite format?
My least favorite format was probably when...
Let
me see. Hold on. Let me see. It was probably right around the time Crossheart had just released in Japan.
Oh,
because
you had disgusting Crossheart.
Yeah, because
You
Crossheart
had
didn't have X3, X4 limited,
Yeah.
and so it was free cycle. Like you could just die in a turn. You're like, all right, okay, cool, fun, fair.
Fair and balanced
um,
gameplay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty rough playing, just because everybody was playing it and it was dumb, stupid, strong, and there was really little you could do about it. So
That's so funny because in like America, we got Crossheart for like full power Crossheart for like a week and a half. I think it may be topped an event during that time, but I can't say for certain.
how do you guys feel about that? Like it feels like the ban list, especially for Japan, is that we're at the trial period. We feel like the guinea pigs, and then you guys get like what the game should be.
Should be, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree actually, because as toxic as it probably would have been, they kind of should have let Crossheart stay.
Mm.
You know, the Cross 4, because the hit
At
was
least for
so
us.
quickly. Yeah, the hit was so quick. I felt like a lot of people probably got cheated when they got all the cards for it. You know, because a lot of like a friend of mine, Fossil Lord, he max rarity the deck like damn near that weekend. And then, yeah, exactly. So he was a little bit pissed when Cross 4 got hit. Just a little bit upset.
Very reasonable take, yeah.
But I
It was
definitely
in a
think
week, like when it doesn't even last a week. Like
Not even a week.
Yeah.
But I definitely
Jesus,
feel like
yeah.
you guys are more the experimental period, and then we get like not necessarily the scraps, but the more refined meta in a way.
Mm.
I definitely felt that when you guys were clamoring for Cross 4 to get hit for like what half a year. And Band, I was like,
someone do
yeah, we're
something
getting
about
on it,
this?
we're getting on it, we're getting on it. Did America get their cards? Yeah, all right, hit it.
I think it's just because America might be the bigger market. I think even for fighting games, this has been the trend where like 2 decades ago, Japan was like the mecca for fighting games, but now companies have realized that bigger profit margins will come from the West, and so they have to make sure that the West stuff is like on point. And so I think that's also the idea that Bandai has for their game as well. So.
I see. Do you think that? How do you think the longevity of Digimon is going to go? Do you think it's in a healthy spot right now as far as meta goes, and like people coming out to events? And do you feel like it's like stabilizing?
I'll say this. I think that. Hold on, give me a second. Let me collect my thoughts here. Like I said before, it feels like every iteration of the game after maybe set 12 is become better and better and better and better, where you can basically play any color you want and you have options out there, competitively anyway. The other thing is, I don't understand. I just see the Facebook Digimon group, like the big Digimon Facebook group. Why is everybody like every week like is the game gonna die? I don't understand that. Like if it was gonna die, then just play it until it dies, and if it doesn't die, then just keep playing the game. It's such a weird take to me that I see this so often, especially from the West, because nobody in Asia feels this way. At least not in Japan. So I don't really know how to answer those questions because I'm like, I just like the game. I mean, I would just
Fair
play it
enough.
That's
until
me and TJ.
until I couldn't anymore.
TJ just like playing the game.
Yeah, right? I mean, I got like 8 decks right here. I'm looking at right now, bro. Like, I think it
I'm
comes
waiting to have my one deck of 8 decks.
right. I think it's the one. I think the main issue is that there's so many games coming out rapid fire that it might be kind of like fatigue. It's like, well, Digimon's going to die because One Piece was going to take off.
I think it's just new toy syndrome.
that too. That as well. Because we just got what's the name? Shadowverse, Shadowverse
Evolved.
Shadowverse Evolved.
And Lorcana.
And Lorcana.
Lorcana,
And
yeah.
Grand Archive. And Alestrials.
And Battle Spirits.
And Battle Spirits. And
Battle
Union
Spirits,
Arena.
yeah.
That's like 8 games.
Well,
so
I
many.
I don't understand Bandai making One Piece and Union Arena at the same time. Am I the only person who's confused by that choice?
No.
None of it makes sense to me.
No, I actually can't stand Union Arena.
They're trying to have 4 card games, right? 4?
5 if you
It's
count
not even the number
Super
of card games. It's like they occupy the same
realm.
IP space.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like One Piece is owned by Shueisha, which is the Shonen Jump people. I think it's Shueisha, the Shonen Jump people,
Yeah.
and the Union Arena is meant to be the Shonen Jump card game, basically. And so at some point they're gonna be like, should we have a One Piece set in Union Arena? And people will be like, isn't that weird that you already have a game that already does that?
Yeah, I don't think they thought that one too far ahead, honestly. Like, I'm just gonna be real.
I don't know. I mean, if you
know.
like things like Hunter x Hunter, Code Geass, and whatever, I guess you have Union Arena, but it just seems so weird that those, in my opinion, those both occupy the same IP space.
Right. I guess, I don't know, how was White Schwartz there? Because White Schwartz was kind of like the same mentality, you know, where like it's just IP based. So is White Schwartz pretty popular in Japan?
Yeah, it's actually still quite popular. I'm really jealous though. You guys over there are getting a Guilty Gear like set for White Schwartz.
That's pretty sick.
And Japan is not.
Wow.
Which is so weird.
That's really strange.
So you want the hookup on some boxes? Is that what you're saying?
we can mail you some boxes of Guilty Gear White Schwartz, bro. No problem.
I'm good. Despite the fact that I play card games, I am, and if you look at my Digimon collection, you would not believe a word I'm about to say, but I'm a minimalist at heart. I want virtually nothing. Like if people come into my apartment, my friends come over, they're like, why do you have like almost nothing in here? I'm like, I've got a couch, a TV, and like the bare essentials.
All you need.
And I'm like, I don't need anything. So I look at like all the people like playing card games, like, you don't need all of the games, did you?
Man, you don't know how like real that sentence is, bro. I swear to God. I know people that like jump from card game to card game so fast. Like cases.
Really?
Yeah, I know this one guy. I'm not gonna say any names, but his name rhymes with Trice. Yeah, there you go. His name rhymes with Trice. And he comes in and then he buys like 5 boxes of a Digimon set. Like just like that. And then he won't show up to locals to play, which is really weird. So it's like you stole.
He's a collector.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, collector. Okay, I got you. So you stole all our prizing and then don't have the audacity to play, man. It's just like all right, sure.
He took all the secret rares and then just dipped.
Took all the secret rares.
And then won't sell them.
He'll
open them in front of you, not use them, and won't sell them.
I think they just
That's
like
gangster.
And not collect them. I ain't never seen no collection. Please, I'll show you a collection.
Joe's gonna post his collection. Let's go. Let's get it. So, East, I'm just curious, really quick. Do you have any questions for us at all? Anything?
Yeah. On my side, I gotta say, what do you think are some of the biggest selling points for the game over in the West right now?
That's a good question, actually. Oh, that's a really good question. Joe, you got an answer?
Like, if you were to sell someone on Digimon, like, what would you sell them on?
It's very affordable.
The magic of, one, it's affordable.
One is affordable, and two. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I think you can play. There's so many different types of things you could play that could like steal games. Do you get what I mean by that? Like you could build quote unquote jank and like throw someone completely off because jank can work.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna piggyback off that sense. There's so many.
So like that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, Digimon is like you just build a stack and the stack does things, right? But I think the most appealing thing about Digimon is the multiple ways you can get there. Like Alphamon takes pieces from other sources, or like other places like the hand or the trash, and you tuck them in and you make your guy. Green ramps up rapidly and spits out a bunch of bodies.
They go wide.
Yeah, they go wide. Shine could just level their dude up for free, basically, with no repercussions.
Marcus
just basically carries Shine on his back, figuratively and literally. So I think that's the main draw point for a lot of people is like, and it's all like effective too. That's another thing. Our meta is pretty healthy. Like we have like, if you want to play green, you could just play green. If you want to play blue, you use like 3 blue decks you could play. You could play Alt Force. You could play Blue Flare. You could play Jumbo Chess if you want. Mirage, yeah. I don't know why I thought of Jumbo Chess before Mirage.
If you want to play red, you can play like 7 red decks.
It's like 7 red decks. You can play Red Hybrid. Greymon is like 18,000 Greymon decks. Yeah, right. You can play Birds Hybrid. Even, right? So
you could. Wow.
That's what I think the main draw of the game is, and that's I think that's why people fall in love with it, because there's just so many options to get into the game, and no pun intended with the options.
Yeah.
So,
Security control, go away. That's not an option.
Please, yeah, can we just ban that whole deck? I can't stand security control.
What about you, Joe? If you had to sell somebody on Digimon, what do you think would be like your big selling points?
I mean, if you have a favorite, there's a deck for it. Almost, I feel like everyone has, like, at this point, almost everyone has their deck. Dorian's getting his finally, right? The Corona nonsense.
Yeah, the Sun and Moon dudes.
The only one that matters is Diana
yeah.
out of the whole deck. I mean, I don't know. I think the game's really fun, and it's very different from everything that originally, like, when I first started playing. Like, Digimon was very different from everything that was kind of, like, out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like,
The memory system is very, very
game.
different.
Yeah, like, the system itself is nice. Like, some people kind of bitch about security, but I think that's kind of, I like security. And I like that it doesn't go to your hand like One Piece and is it Super? Super you spend it, right?
I don't remember how Super works exactly.
I don't know. I mean, Pokemon, like it's like the opposite. Like where like if you're winning, you get advantage from your prizes.
Winning, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
one thing I
Pokemon,
still don't.
I feel like the prizing more ends up screwing you in Pokemon than anything. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest, because it ends up being away from you for so long.
That's true. It
As
does
in
take a
the
lot of
two
resources
games I
to get
played
there.
today, and there were both of my Charizard EXs in prize.
Oof, you hate to see it.
Big sad.
Oh, I actually just built my first Pokemon deck after
Oh
going
my
to Pokemon World
Oh,
last weekend.
Okay.
Please don't tell me it's Mew. I'm gonna cry.
No, it's
Okay.
jank as hell. So we have the
Even
Obsidian,
better.
Obsidian. I don't know what it's called in English. Obsidian Flames or whatever.
Yeah,
Flames,
Obsidian
yeah.
Flames,
So what's it? Ruler of the Black Flame for you?
Yeah. Which sounds like a
cool.
Yu-Gi-Oh set, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it does sound like a Yu-Gi-Oh set.
But in that set, there's a card. There's a King Gambit card that says if your opponent's
Yeah.
or Pokemon has 4 damage counters on it,
Don't let them know.
kill it.
Don't let them know. Don't let them know. We're building some hot sauce with that deck. I know exactly the deck.
Building some hot sauce.
I already built
it. So freaking fantastic.
I don't think he
I
wants to
just built
spoil
Where's
it
the
for
key?
others. Yeah, he doesn't want to spoil.
I mean,
it
he-
for-
No, you can let it out. You can let it out.
Okay.
It's so fun.
If your opponent's Pokemon has 4 damage counters or more on it, then you just kill them.
What?
Yep.
So they could have like 4 million life, and they execute.
It's basically a 2-hit knockout.
Yeah.
Much.
And so I built that. It's my first deck. I don't have a super deep grasp of the game, but like I built that around like Cobalion, who gives you energy by attacking. You use double turbo energy on him to spread energy to your people on the bench, and then you play Mimikyu, which isn't affected by VFX or EX effect damage cards or damage. And you combine that with things like a Quillfish, who when he is destroyed or killed, he explodes damage on the Pokemon that killed him. And you also use Iron Treads, which can attack for 160 and then retreat to the bench. So you can attack with Iron Treads, pull out Mimikyu as like your shield. And even if those Pokemon die, they're all only one prize, with the exception of the Iron Treads.
That's pretty
And
What's the Iron Treads? That's the Dawn fan, right?
Yeah, the Iron Treads EX. It's the he's an attack that lets him retreat immediately after he hits, and then he has another attack that spreads 30 damage to 3 Pokemon on your opponent's side of the board.
Wow.
So the idea is to spread the damage, and then to pull out your
other guy and knock him out.
Yeah, your King Gambit to just kill them.
Gambit.
That's
fun.
kind of busted. It sounds a
Me and
little
Zixxsa
busted.
It's actually pretty slow.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. It's actually pretty slow.
Well, we were just literally cooking up like 3 lists with that earlier. Like, that's funny that you brought that up.
That's
Like,
crazy.
literally probably 4 hours ago. Me and Zixxsa were just in that doing stuff like
The
that.
key is another
That's
friend of ours.
That's been my my weekly project, is like building that deck. And so like just last night, I think I got most of the pieces. I still need to get
Any
the
other
double turbo
Pokemon
energy
decks you looked at, or is that like the first one you looked at?
I built Torch deck from Pokemon Worlds. I don't know how much you guys know about Pokemon or like the competitive scene there, but there's a guy named Tord Reklev who has almost the full crown. He's won regionals for every
He's
region,
ridiculous.
but he
Actually
hasn't won the
ridiculous.
world event.
That's crazy.
And he got to the finals this weekend, and the story is so good. Like, this guy is trying his best to like get the full crown, and the last one he needs is the worlds, and he's there. and his opponent
And it's
just
the Ash story. It's the Ash story.
yeah, it definitely is the Ash. Story.
I would have cried. Man.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, and as somebody who didn't really understand Pokemon before that, like my friend sitting next to me, like the commentators explaining like how things work, really like brought it all together in a really cool way.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Pokemon's fun.
I haven't played Pokemon in like 20 years.
Yeah, bro.
15 years.
Welcome
Yeah.
Welcome back. I'm right up there with you. I remember Haymaker. Yeah, Ray Dance. Yeah.
I guess another question I have for you guys is if you'd make one change to the game to make it better, what do you think it would be? And it can be in the game itself, it could be around the game, for example, some things Bandai could do, or the community.
More online, more in-person events.
In-person events?
Yeah. In-person, like, regionals.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
that's like the main thing we need.
That's
If
really
I could-
You have a lot more in-person than we do.
Mm.
That's like our main problem. We have a lot of online, but it's like,
Yeah, it's a little sad.
sorry.
Fine. I mean, if I can follow up on that question, then is how would you? Coax isn't the right word, but how would you persuade people to go to offline events?
Better pricing.
So I mean, if they have them, that's great. But it's not like no Ozark where if you build it, they'll come. Like,
right, of course.
how do you bring the people to those
I mean,
events?
it's the better prizing, like we said.
yeah.
Like people have to take off work to go to these regional events, and then there's like prizing that isn't even worth the $35 that you spent.
I mean, honestly, I don't want a paper deck box, bro. Like, I'm not trying to play. I'm not trying to spend $35.
Like, give
for
me
cardboard.
a tin. Like Pokemon,
Yeah.
like Pokemon. Yes, they overproduce everything that they do, but it's for a reason. Like they give you something you can store your stuff in almost every fucking week. Sorry,
That's crazy. Wow.
No,
like,
you can curse. It's fine.
do you know what I mean though?
No,
Like
you're
tin wise, like just everything. Like how come Digimon can't get on the, or like just Bandai? I'm gonna be honest. It's not just Digimon. It's Bandai in general. Like get on the fact that like, hey, maybe a little storage, like actual like kind of tin would be nice. Maybe some other things that would be nice. You know.
Yeah, even Digivices.
Just a
or
little bit
just
higher end
something,
incentive.
You know? Like Digivices.
Stuff. Like it doesn't even have to necessarily
playmats.
be cards.
Yeah, Digivices, playmats. I remember Yu-Gi-Oh was doing that Kaiba briefcase. That was pretty sick. Yeah, they were.
Obama has one of those.
He
showed
does?
up to our.
Insane.
He showed up one night to the to like our like studio. He's like, "Yo, check this out," and he opens up the Kaiba briefcase.
That's what I'm saying. Flex is like that.
I was like, really?
Stuff people would go to. You know what I mean? Dumb people will go to events for that kind of stuff.
Oh, 100%. Or like even just having like a like a Digitama plushie or something like that. That's like. And then you open it and it says like world champion or some shit. Who knows? Just something, you know, just something other than
just actual prizing.
Yeah.
Something that feels like an actual prize.
Yeah, you can have a WWE belt. I don't care. Like I'll play for that.
That would be sick, actually. Give me the belt. I'm a Mirage or Mirage Galgamon. Give me the belt.
Give you a
Yeah.
bunch of these
Belt is-
stamp cards that are $2 basically, unless they're the finalist cards, basically.
Yeah, I'm not trying to play.
So
for
unless you're the
sleeves.
top 32, unless you're the top 32, maybe. What does the finalist go to? 64. I don't even know.
It's like if you like I topped 8 regionals, and the only thing I'm getting is a participation pack and like a top like players pack and the long awaited lunchbox fucking
A lunchbox?
I don't know, not lunchbox
A lunchbox?
not the lunchbox. What is the stupid ass I'm excuse my mouth. What is the stupid like deck box? Yeah, the deck box. I think I'm getting a deck box.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
he's
bro-
gonna get another paper deck box.
I'm getting another paper deck box, you know.
I was like, a lunchbox? If they
No.
give me a grown man a lunchbox with a Digimon tournament, I'm gonna complain to somebody.
I mean, that is
Where am
a
I
problem.
taking this?
I would take some lunch. We don't even get like we did regionals last year. We didn't get any lunch breaks. We just had to. Yeah,
Seriously?
nine rounds, right, of just back-to-back Digimon. People were dropping to go
9
eat.
rounds?
Yeah, people were
Yeah, of
dropping to go
course.
eat. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. 9 rounds and you get stuff that's worth $7 at the end. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
It's a little rough.
I feel that.
It's a little rough.
I feel that.
Even when you had fun and had a good time, like, but it's the ones where you, like, there's people who will sit through whole events where, like, I sat there and struggled, you know, went X5 trying to play my games. And there's people who will somehow sneak, like, 4 threes from just having no one show up.
That
You know what I mean? They'll sit
Yeah,
and
that's
talk,
rough.
yeah.
I
and
feel
I'm just
that.
watching those kind of dumb things where 3 of their wins are from people just no showing the event. And
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, that's kind of insane. Okay.
Kind of messed up, yeah. Can I ask, like, what are like event sizes for?
They're pretty good for the
For
online ones.
regionals,
They
they're
sell
like
out.
what? They're all like over 200 plus.
Oh yeah, like two.
Jeez.
Last year's regionals was 512 players, maybe a little
Yeah,
more.
last year's regionals is
Yeah.
ridiculous. All of the
Um,
regionals were like 512 a pop.
Yeah, but there was only like 3 like in person ones. It was one at
Uh,
Otakon in DC. There was another one, Gen Con, that was in Ohio, I believe. I think it's in Ohio. And
Yeah.
then there was one, like I think in New York or Florida. I don't remember, but that's all you got. And so if you didn't top at those regionals, you had to get your invite to nationals from store championships. Yeah,
Store championships.
or online, of course. And those were really scuffed because a lot of people were colluding to just give like, hey man, I'll just edit the brackets and then you can get the
Wow.
Yeah, it was really scummy.
Wow.
Thankfully, nobody in our area did that, but I had
Thank
heard,
God, yeah.
Yeah, I have heard sketchy things go on. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, my hope here is that in Japan we don't actually have like those super large like 500 man or 250 man events. It's a bit more segmented. The way things work is
Thank
like
God.
yeah, we start from the local level, so you basically have your store, and then winners of the store events during I guess like tournament season, so to speak, go to like a second stage event, and so like it's like the winners of other store events go to that one, and then basically you just kind of like build up until you have all the winners of like the regions, and like they play.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, but like considering like a 500 man event, that would be sick. The closest thing we've had to that in Japan is recently they're doing something called like the Tamer Tour, where they picked like 5 locations around Japan, and like they have like these huge events you can register for. They're free to go to, and
that's
this is
gonna be
the
fun.
stuff you can do. Yeah, the one for Tokyo was last week, and unfortunately I missed it because I was at Pokemon Worlds. But I think there's a few more still.
I think
left.
that's allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I got a spectator badge, and those are pretty hard to come by. So like I got to make the most of
Sweet.
it.
Man, I just also just having
hope-
like a pro tour or something. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
like a
Please
pro
go ahead.
tour would be nice too. Because when Battle Spirits came here, people were fiending for that pro tour invite. Like it was like $1 million prize pool when Battle Spirits started. Yeah, and
Yup.
sadly when they didn't get into the pro tour, everybody dropped it. So
Dang.
it's not looking
bag.
too good. Yeah, they only did it for the bag.
Battle Spirits is out in a rough spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard they really catered to like the super competitive scene, but that's great. But you need to have the casual scene around to support it as well. I think they're maybe missing that layer of the cake,
Yeah.
so to
Yep.
speak.
How's Battle
And
Spirits?
it's
there?
just
Is it really
there's
popular?
Battle Spirits is one of the oldest card games I know of in Japan. It's like 15 years old,
wow.
15, 20 years old. You guys are getting a updated version of the game where they're taking they have like the base
They're
for the card.
condensing it, kind of, right?
Yeah, they're changing up some of the
It's
rules
like
a little bit,
DBZ
and then
Kai.
Okay.
sort of yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they have all the artwork to pull from. Now they just need to like recreate the effects and make sure the balance is still there. I had a chance to actually meet, and I did a video with Bandai as like a promotion. And I will say for that game specifically, the team is so passionate. I was very surprised. Like they invited me to the office. They're like, all right, like here's how you play the game. Here are the starter decks. Like here's what every deck is known for. And the guy that I was like playing with, like he's like one of the balance directors. Insane. This guy's good as hell. Like he's got his own. He's also got like his own like special stuff. So like the game revolves on these things called cores. Which are kind of like these little jewels. You move them around and stuff, and there's a bunch of effects you can do with them. He had his own like pimped out cores and shit. Like his own his own nasty as hell card sleeves. I'm like, okay, this guy really plays card games. All right. And like the team when I went to go record was like we would sit there and in between recordings they were like, hey, when you made that move, is that the best play you could have made? And they would sit there and actually talk about like the strategy behind the game. So I hope that the game does well just based off the fact that those people are really passionate about it. But yeah, again, I still think they're missing that one layer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need that ground layer, like you're saying.
Yeah, because once the Pro Tour ended for Battle Spirits, like our Battle Spirits locals basically died. Only like 2 people showed up. Yep. Just
Wow,
bad.
that's rough.
Digimon's been going
Well,
strong.
and then their Shadowverse came out. So.
Yeah, and then Shadowverse came out, and a lot of people flocked to that. And Shadowverse.
That's a very fun game.
It is. Okay.
I don't know if you guys know, but I do a lot of I do commentary for Shadowverse over in the SEA region. So they have like the Shadowverse does something called the Shadowverse Open. I guess I'm plugging them right now.
That's fine. It's okay.
Plug away.
Yeah.
Plug away.
Elephant guys, thank me for this later. But they do not weekly, but monthly events where it's like a one weekend and it's online. The game the actual Shadowverse game, like the mobile game, like the mobile card game. They do one for West and Europe, I think combined, and the winner is like $1,000. Top 8, like guaranteed like money prizing. They give away stuff in game. The game is in tournament mode, so you can use any card during the tournament you want, even if you don't own it normally.
Wow, that's pretty nice.
But yeah, they're just releasing the physical version of Evolve, and that's a pretty fun game. It's been out for about a year here. It was kind of scuffed when it first released because there wasn't enough product. All the weird Yu-Gi-Oh sweats came over, and they make the community really awkward. But
God
I guess
dang it, they sweat everywhere.
You're telling me Yu-Gi-Oh sweats exist in Japan too?
Absolutely.
That's
like
so
the super try cards.
Oh man.
And then luckily, I think after like set 2.5, they all like bounced. They all just kind of dipped. So the community's way better now, which is hopefully the game sticks around in English. I don't know if Shadowverse has like the IP power to do that, but it's a very good game. For all intents and purposes.
I think it's going to be around to stay because I think when I was about to say Battlespheres. I think when Shadowverse came out, it actually like sold out at our locals, which was weird.
Oh,
because,
really?
Yeah, which is weird because it didn't have any like
marketing.
Thank you. Yeah, it didn't have any marketing.
Yeah.
It was kind of strange.
Well aware, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it's good for it. I can't afford another card game, so.
Right, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I have 2 Pokemon decks. I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, that's it. That's the end of it.
I'm 12 Digimon decks, but don't worry about that.
I'm actually curious about Yu-Gi-Oh! Before we like hop off, I want to get a Yu-Gi-Oh! Talk going because you really hit something when you talked about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sweats. Because I thought the Japanese meta for Yu-Gi-Oh! Was healthier. They're sweaty and gross players there too. Like I mean, there's you're gonna get that like no matter where you go.
I don't think you said that the right way.
Yeah,
I'm confused. Are we talking about actually sweaty, nasty human beings, or like they are tryhards in the game? Like there's
both actually. Like I'm saying both because we got both here. Like they had to implement a rule. Konami had to implement a rule. Like if you stank at an event, you had to leave. Like you got kicked out and DQ'd and everything.
I will applaud that every single time, bro. If you ain't shit, if your weakness is water, like we gotta have a talk. Like that's
please, man, for me. Just
hey now. All right.
If you are like aquaphobic or whatever it's called, agoraphobic, whatever, you help yourself out. Like do me a favor, hit this soap, hit this deodorant. Like that's a winning matchup. I promise.
That's a winning matchup. I swear.
Please.
Yeah, this is what gets you to a championship, right?
This is what gets you to a
right here.
Old Spice.
Old Spice, bro.
There's a reason champion is on the label right there, big
I'm
dog.
telling you.
Be you.
So
yeah, sorry, what you saying?
No, I was just gonna ask. Back to Yu-Gi-Oh really quick. So, how bad are the players? Like the community, I should say. Is it really bad,
I wouldn't say the community is bad. I think there's it's got legacy behind it, right? So the people who play that game have probably played it for a long time. And when you stick with the game for a long time, you tend to have like more hardcore folks in it, and so they're more focused on winning rather than anything else. And while I think that we absolutely need those kinds of players, the people who will push the competitive side of the game, it's not the only side of the game that matters. In fact, I think even for companies, they realized it's probably if you focus only on that, Battle Spirits being a really good example here, then you lose out on the bottom layer of the cake, which is the casual scene who needs to be there to support and prop everything up.
People who want to play burbs.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that those people who are like super into competitive card games have been playing for a long time, especially people with the legacy that Yu-Gi-Oh has behind it. When they come to other games, like they're expecting to win, and those kinds of competitive players, while again are necessary, they're not the most important piece or the most important part of the whole.
That's true. People just
so I don't know if I exactly answered your question. And I also don't want to throw shade on a community that I don't have a lot of buy-in with. Like I don't really know Yu-Gi-Oh that much. Most of my Yu-Gi-Oh takes come from the Team APS guy. Shout outs to Paul and those fellas.
Oh, nice.
Nice, yeah, right.
Tell them what's
and-
up from the Drakes.
Yeah, tell them what's up with the Drakes.
But the Japanese players, again, I don't play with them, so I don't know exactly what they're like. But I do know specifically that when I asked folks from Japan who were playing Shadowverse Evolve, like, what game did you play originally? Like, Yu-Gi-Oh was one of the most common answers in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I've dubbed them the Yu-Gi-Oh sweats.
Fair enough. I just feel some kind of way because I grew up on Yu-Gi-Oh and I got my Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
Oh, same, yeah.
I got my
I think
Yu-Gi-Oh deck
that's
stolen
the
like
thing
3
for
times.
Digimon is I feel like a lot of people who started playing Digimon came from Yu-Gi-Oh. Because
Really?
Yu-Gi-Oh Yu-Gi-Oh had gotten so
Wild.
expensive.
Really?
Like
Didn't-
Staples, you're telling me I need 3 Lightning Storm and it's $165 a pop? I can't pay that. I can't pay that.
Yeah, that's rough.
And that's just to be able to last? No. But
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of couldn't make it past. It's pretty much Firewall format when they were just looping Firewall around until
Well, that's
Firewall got eroded.
That's way after me.
But yeah, I made it up to like 2020, pretty much ish. I'm pretty sure is like around the time frame when then I just gave up, and then Digimon basically came out, and I was like, oh, look at this War Greymon deck. Look at Ty.
Oh, you eating
And
well
then I
if those are your
walked in-
decks right now, yeah?
Yeah, right.
I walked into my my locals and I had 2 of those stacked together, and they were like, "What is this garbage?" And I was like,
What is
"Oh,
this
I don't
jank?
I don't know.
know."
It's
And they
the
were like,
best
"Aren't you gonna play in locals right now?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "We're sitting. It's Sunday. It's locals." I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess." And so then I proceeded to get destroyed at locals.
Win in Rome.
Later on, yeah, honestly. Later on.
And then I've been there ever since. Joined a card team, and here we are.
Here we are.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hmm.
So it's coming up on a little over an hour. So
Oh,
I kind of want to
yeah,
start
too much
winding
of
now.
your
Yeah,
time.
I know.
No worries, no worries.
Hopefully you had your breakfast.
Definitely.
Yeah, actually, again, I woke up at 7, so you're all good.
Oh, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Okay.
Just to close out the stream, any closing remarks you want to say? East, any shout outs? Anything you want to say?
If I have a platform, then let me see how I can use it to make do the most good. I'll say this. I think that you guys made some really great points. The first one, I hope that the pricing in the West for Digimon becomes better, because yeah, like it's kind of like the story you guys have told me. I've never heard it before, but the story you guys told me sounds like awful. Like playing for like a car. Show me the cardboard deck box again. Let me see where that.
Let me get it.
Oh, where's it at? Where's it at?
Where is it at? Oh no, what I do with it? I probably threw it.
$35 in like a day off of work plus like 8 hours is definitely not worth that. I can definitely agree.
I got it.
Yeah, this right here, that ain't it, Chief. Please. That definitely ain't it. Also, in that card like limited to 1. Also, unlimited.
Yeah, that is
Please.
like. Yeah, that
did
is
you,
true.
oh, was that
Saber
a
Mon?
free
Saber Huckmon?
savior?
That's Savior Hook, free Savior,
Free
bro.
savior, Jesmon's favorite card, or not even Jesmon. That's Gallantmon's favorite card.
Honestly.
Oh wow, true. But that and no matter whoever's watching this, no matter what you do something
All
to give back
5
to
of
your
our
community.
subscribers.
That's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
right.
If even one of if even one of them does like takes this advice, I think it's a big dub. Do something to give back to your community in any way you can. That's my biggest thing. That if you ever watched anything I did, you ever like took away one message that I ever had was like do something to make your community better, whether it's online, your local community, no matter what it is. People who like take the time and effort, and for again work that is very often not adequately remunerated. It's such a big deal, like being able to prop up your community on your back. One example is like this right here, like TJ and Joe like sitting here and like taking time out of their day to actually create a podcast for other people to actually watch and enjoy. I think is a big deal, and I wish that more people would get involved in some way on the community level. Like give back in any way that you can. Again, I live in Japan, and I do what I can to give back to the folks in the English speaking community. And
you do too much for us. You do too
yeah,
much for all of us. I'm gonna be honest.
You do. You do quite
We're
well.
very grateful for you.
A lot of people champion what you say, man. A lot of people champion what you say.
And like, yeah, if you could just give back to your community in some way, find something that you're good at and that you can do to help other people enjoy the things that you enjoy, I think the game would grow exponentially. And so if you're looking for growth for the game, I think that's like the easy way you can do it at the person level.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, East. We appreciate that. Thanks for coming out, man.
I'm happy to do it again. Anytime you guys want to have me on, please feel free to just pick my brain.
Yeah, please.
Awesome.
We're gonna turn to you.
You're
with
gonna
BT14.
get your brain picked more.
Yeah,
when BT14 is here.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Warping my life away.
Honestly.
Oh my God.
Honestly. But thank you for coming.
Check
out,
the YouTube
man.
channel, yeah.
Yeah. Check out East's YouTube channel. I'm gonna post it in the description below when we upload it on to YouTube later.
Yeah, I forgot to tag your Twitter, but if you go repost
That's
the link,
Yeah.
I put it up on our Twitter and stuff, so you can just go retweet it and stuff.
I talked to CJ before this. I'm basically going to take the first like 10 or 12 minutes of this interview and find a good cutoff point so that people want to come actually and check out the full interview. I'm going to post that on my
sweet.
YouTube so that you guys and then direct them to your YouTube channel with the full interview.
Bro, you are the best on
He's
the
the
planet.
best,
What
man.
the- Okay.
Honestly. Thank you all so much for watching. And
Thanks,
you guys,
man.
You guys have a lovely night. All right, take care.
You do the same. Or morning, wherever you are.
Morning, night, wherever you
Well,
are.
you
Yeah.
We're all about
Yeah.
the
We're all here.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, thanks again, fellas. Y'all take care.
You too. Peace.